So, good morning. Thank you for joining. And as we discussed today, we'll be having a mock round of interview to see how exactly we can mimic a interview round and understand what are do's and don'ts, and also go through you know how exactly we can prepare for an interview. With that in mind, one of you have nominated. I think Shashant, you have nominated yourself for the interview, right?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. I'm hoping you are super ready. So let's go ahead and let's start with a basic round of, Pega technical interview. I won't be taking a managerial sort of interview. It would be more in terms of technical aspects to understand what exactly is your understanding with respect to product. What is the depth of understanding you have with the product is something we'll be focusing on. Along with that, something very important to understand here is usually these interviews are, a video enabled sort of an interview. Right now, we won't be doing that because I'm not sure what state you are in. It's pretty early morning for you. But understand that this would be a video sort of approach, and you won't be this calm because right now we are not able to see you, so you would be calm in terms of answering. But when it is a video interview, sometimes it gets challenging because he's literally the opposite person is literally seeing you, and then most of the times his screen is dark, he's not visible, but he's always watching you. Just remember that. Just letting you know, because people try to think that they can lip sync and try to fake that and somehow go into the system. It's not easy. It's not, I mean, it's mere impossible. Trust me, you will be caught. You're not pros at it and you will be caught. So there is no point in putting effort in doing stuff like that. Doesn't make sense, you know even if you, for example, in 1 in a million, for example, if you crack that and even if you go inside, you would be caught right barehanded as soon as they figure out, you go into stand-ups and you'll have to talk, you'll have to give updates there. Anyone will know if someone doesn't have potential. It's as good as someone telling that I know to construct your home, and when he comes there and then he's proving his skills in terms of that he doesn't know that. That's what it is. Perfect. Having said that, Shushant, let's start with your interview. Thank you for joining. And if you can brief me about yourself, that would be good.
Yes. Total I have 7 years of experience. Out of this, 7 year non IT experience.
Mhm.
So yes, so currently I am working in this company in Pharmacy company in
Mhm.
non IT.
Mhm.
So recently I learned this Pega from uh, this institute.
Mhm.
So this is all about. Fine.
Okay. So, very first thing to understand here is when someone asks you, tell me about yourself, your answer should be at least you should take 1 minute, you should target to take one solid 1 minute to convey about yourself, in the sense that telling about yourself is you should be present it in such a way that imagine you going to meet someone to marry. You would always dress yourself really well and you always talk in high volumes about you, telling that hey, my schooling was done in such and such a place and I'm really educated and right now I'm working in this particular place. Just imagine the scenario like that. Doesn't literally mean that. It's just that you are going to someone who wants to be who should be okay in having you in his team. The way you introduce right now, it would be really challenging for someone to think that, oh, does he is he even interested in this job, is kind of a feedback you would get. This is for everyone, not just you, everyone. Even I was
Yes.
like you. The first thing you should be doing is, for this question, tell me about yourself, you should have a script written and you should be practicing that every day, at least 3 to 4 times in front of a mirror, so that you are confident about what you are, first of all, right? Could be very simple thing, like for example you could say, I'm Shishant, I come from such and such place. Let's say you come from Bangalore. I was born and raised in Bangalore. I started exploring Pega 4 years ago. I stumbled upon Pega when I was trying to understand something with respect to IT, and then it interested me because it had a low code approach, which intrigued me because I come from a background where I don't have computer science as my core understanding, but still, even without that, I was able to understand this particular platform, and it helped me build enterprise applications on top of this platform. While I was understanding this product, I was able to clear my understanding by giving the certification. Let us say you did Pega Certified System Architect, which helped me understand in great depth about what are the capabilities of Pega. Well, after I was able to clear that, I also implemented whatever I learned as part of the certification in my project when we tried to build an insurance application where a customer is granted insurance based on, for example, auto vehicle insurance. We were able to grant it by building different flows for it. And while I was building this application, I was able to explore different rules which come as part of Pega platform, especially the flow rules. We were able to build various process flow rules. We also developed different case types under which we had stages. And also I was able to perform certain integrations, especially REST is something which seemed very simple to me because Pega provides a wizard using which I can easily integrate with external applications and also provide detailed feedback with respect to every process whatever it is doing, and also helps us perform routing with respect to managers. I feel that these features in Pega are really good, and it helped me learning enterprise application development really good. If this, this is just like, from your standpoint, if I have to answer, tell me about yourself, I would be taking this much time. So even before he answers your next question, you are already answering many questions which he might have. He might be asking you, what all rules have you worked on, could be his next question. But you already answered that in your first question. By taking 1 whole minute, you answered that question, yes or no?
Yes.
Imagine that that person who is coming to take your interview, he has taken out time from his work schedule to make sure that he listens to you and he understands if you are a right candidate for his team. First, you have to understand that. Very important. You have to understand that he is taking special time out from his particular work schedule to understand you. So you should make sure that time he's taking out is very fruitful for him. He should feel that, oh, if I have this person next to me, I think my job is going to be easier, because that is what he's looking for. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? So that should be our focus. Like for every one of us, we have to build a script like how I spoke right now. You have to figure out what are your strengths, put it in a on a paper, write it down first, write it down and fine tune it. Keep talking about that wherever you go. You have peers who are working on Pega. Just talk to them and say, see, this is what I have thought of telling for as my introduction pitch, because that pitch is going to decide, like at least like 50% of your chances of going into this that particular organization will be decided in that first initial minute, because that is where you'll put your first impression. Does it make sense?
Yes.
So we have to work on that. Of course, not everyone is born in in an English background. We all come from different walks of life. We have our own mother tongue. That's fine, but building a script and practicing it should be easy. It's as good as mugging up an answer, which we did all through our school life. That's what we have to do. And what is this about? It's about myself. Should be easy for me to understand and build. Very important. So that question is understood. Perfect. So going further. Okay, Shishant. So you said you are working on Pega, and so which version are you working on right now, Shishant?
Yes. Uh, 8.6 version.
Right. So do you have any idea about previous versions?
7 version.
So
Yes.
okay, very good. So what is the major difference you saw between Pega 7 and Pega 8?
Yes, in 7 version we had agent, a standard agent,
Mm-hmm,
advanced agent.
mm-hmm.
And 8 version onwards, it was upgraded to standard agent, upgraded to uh, queue
Okay,
processor, and
process.
advanced agent upgraded to job scheduler. So
Okay.
these are the like major difference.
That's good. So you have done your homework. You know that agents have been transformed. In the same way, if
Yes.
you see, user interface also is something which has transformed. Right now, Pega is supporting React and most latest. frameworks with respect to JavaScript, Pega is able to support in 8.x. It has also introduced something called as Constellation. These are some new features. It is always good to stay in touch and also know about that by going to their website, understand what are the latest features which they are delivering. So answering these questions, these are not something which you will be working on, but knowing this gives them an impression that you are passionate about this product. You are trying to learn by yourself. You are trying to see what is the buzz in the market right now with respect to the product. So how can you get that? You have to make sure you keep updating yourself by going to the Pega's website and understanding what are the latest features they are delivering. You can tell, sorry, I have not worked on that, but yes, I know that they have released something called as Constellation, which is really cool. When I tried looking at their presentation or their release or their event which they performed, and I saw that, and it's really cool, and I think it can greatly benefit customers. This is what you should give. So this gives them an optimistic perspective about you, that you are positive to change and you are ready to willing to learn. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Perfect. So going slightly deeper technically, Shishant, so if you can help me understand what is enterprise class structure in Pega?
Yes. um, Organization structure. Organization structure. Organization structure, division structure, framework structure. Our organization structure, division structure, implementation structure, which is derived from framework structure.
Mm-hmm.
Every stage, every layer, like organization structure, division structure, and framework implementation structure. Every layer we have data class which is derived from data ent database, and also every layer we have integration classes which is derived from int
INT.
classes.
Very good.
So this is all about the organization structure.
That's very good. So you are able to tell what exactly enterprise class structure is all about, which is a very good thing, which gives me an impression that, oh, okay, he understands it. Putting it across is slightly a challenge, right? You're the way you are trying to put it across. Sometimes you're feeling it is a challenge, which is fine, But the interviewers understand that you are not going to represent, or going to be a spokesperson for any team or something like that, but you should be able to put across your thoughts. So you're able to tell that, okay, enterprise class structure stands for this thing. This will be the organization layer within Pega, and this is how the classes are split across. Of course, you should always talk about the major feature which enterprise class structure brings, which is reusability. You can build a component using enterprise class structure and you can reuse. We did that when we build properties. For example, we build properties in the organization layer, and then we are able to reuse that in the division layer, framework layer, implementation layer. We build activities in the framework layer, and then we are able to use that in the implementation layer. For example, we built a lot of stuff in work class, and then we are able to use that in all the child classes we created. All this is reusability, and this is only possible because of the enterprise class structure feature of Pega. Okay, so always try to highlight what is the benefit we get from that particular feature. So very important when you're trying to answer the questions. That's good. So if you can, going a slightly bit further, uh, why do we need activities within Pega?
To perform business logic, we need activity. So, so if we have the option like data transform, so we always choose a data transform in place of activity to avoid this mm, application. If we majorly we use the activity, so that will be impact on application performance. So if we have option in data transform, so always we should prefer for data transform.
Very good. Okay, so in this question,
These all
y-
things.
good.
Yes.
In this question, you are demonstrating your understanding with respect to activities as well as data transforms, and you're telling the interviewer that you understand that activities are not something which we should prefer when something is possible using data transforms, which is a very good thing, right? It gives him understanding that, okay, you understand how exactly what is the best practice with respect to Pega, right? Data transforms are best practice with respect to Pega, and you should use it. That's good, very good. So let us say, now that you say data transforms are really good, if you can help me understand, let us say I have three lists. Okay, let us say we have two lists. Employee, let us say both are employee lists. Okay, one list has list of 10 employees, other list has list of other 10 employees. Now I want you to consolidate this two lists. Let us assume that these are page lists which are available on your clipboard. I want you to consolidate these two lists, page lists, into one single list, and I don't want any duplicates in this list. How can you achieve this requirement?
So we have one option. We have append, append and map.
Mhm.
Uh, so if the page list belong to the same class, so we can go with append. And if page list belong to different class, so we can go with append and map. So
Okay. Mhm.
uh, with this method, we can copy in one. And all, acha, acha. So by page update, we can do it.
Mhm.
By page update, we can do the copy. Yeah.
Okay. So always try to be sure about what answer you're going to choose first thing. And always try to take some time to also absorb what the question is. So it is not necessary that you give the answer within 3 seconds of the question being asked. It is always good, sometimes when you're not sure, ask them, okay, I want to understand this requirement in a much better way. If you can help me explain this again, or if there is specific piece of the question which you didn't understand, ask them again, if you can help me understand what this piece means in the question. So when I gave you the requirement, you should understand that, okay, he's expecting something to be consolidated. In the sense, there are two lists. So in the question, I clearly gave you a hint telling that these are page lists which are already on clipboard, which means accessing that data is not an issue for you. If I don't give you that hint that this thing is already there on clipboard, you would be starting with, okay, I understand that you are asking this data, so this data should be sitting in one of the tables in your database. I would be fetching this data using report definition or something, whatever role befits there. You can tell, okay, I'll be fetching that data, and I can perform, if this data is coming from database, I can rather perform a filter and I can get that. Right now it is already in clipboard, so that is ruled out. So if it is already in clipboard, how can I do it? The best way possible is, there are multiple approaches. One is user activity. Take these page list into that activity. Try go through each and every page list and then filter for duplicates using one of the out of the box functions which Pega provides. You can use that function and you can filter. The same thing can be performed using data transform also. Like you said, there are append methods within data transform using which you can perform this merge or copy, and then you can filter out the duplicates, put it in one, create a new third page list, copy those two page lists into this thing, and also look for duplicates. How can we identify duplicates? For example, if list of two employees, uh, list of 10 employees, and list of other list of 10 employees, let us say Sushant's employee ID is present in both of them, then you know what is the primary column. You can look for that particular column by looping through that page list, and then you will be identifying the duplicates. So understand the requirement. So these are the questions you will be expecting. You will not he will not be asking you what are the rules which you find under process category. No, don't expect such questions. This is like a real time practical question which you would be expecting as part of interview. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let us say we are trying to implement, we want to consume a certain set of data from a external web service. Okay, let us say
Yes.
it is a credit score. We are a banking application and we want to consume credit score from a third party. What are my options to consume this?
So in this scenario, we need to make connect rest.
Very
Connect
good.
rest rule we
Hmm.
need to,
Hmm.
and credit and also yes in that and URL we need to put the credit score related to uh, website URL we need to put, from which from this we can get customer credit score easily.
Mhm. Perfect. So the answer is right. You have to use connect rest. Connect rest is one of the approaches. You do it. You can do it through connect soap also, but connect rest is fine because it is stateless and then easy because you can use JSON. Once you tell that you're going to use connect rest, you should tell we can perform this activity using connect rest. However, the connection details, what are the connection details? The URL, if there is any header information. For example, when we did the chat GPT integration, we saw that we are sending the API key in the header. Yes or no?
Yes.
Because this is a banking application, you should always specify that. You should tell that yes, we can use REST integration. Connect REST is the rule which I'll be using to connect to that particular web service which is going to provide me this credit score. However, I will also get the details about what sort of authentication they want to use. Banking information are secure information. When we discussed or understood integration, we told that whenever we use HTTP, it is like an open free tunnel where anyone can peep in and see what is happening. So I will try to implement a HTTPS sort of a REST service where it will be secure, and I'll be using tokens like the token we used when we implemented ChatGPT in the header. We pass the token. Only if the token is valid, then the rest of the method would be executed. So always remember that when you are trying to answer, try to answer in a wholesome manner so that you are covering each and every aspect with respect to that question. So this gives the interviewer the understanding that you are just not someone who is going to implement a solution, but someone who understands what is the importance of data and how securely you can transfer the data. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Very good. That's nice. So, if you can help me understand, what is the difference between process flows and screen flows?
Yes. Process flow is the main flow. Screen flow is the like secondary flow, we can say. So screen flow we can call in process inside the process flow.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we have requirement like only one user can be can complete this assignment. So
Mm-hmm.
that related assignment we can make in a screen flow.
Mm-hmm.
And I think yes, and here in screen flow, routing option will be routing, and harness option will be available in
Start
start
shape.
shape in
Very good.
start shape.
Mm-hmm.
And here in process flow, that will be available in every assignment shape.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And in screen flow we have two kinds of harness, like tabbed harness and tree navigation.
Mm-hmm.
Process flow we have a new perform, and new perform confirm harness will be there.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, screen flow is not started flow. Yeah, process flow is started flow. Means work object can be created
Very good.
from process flow.
Very
Here
good.
screen flow we can create the work object.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all about the difference.
Very good. So, of all the answers you gave me, now I get a understanding that okay, I think Sushant has decent understanding with respect to flows, because the way you covered the wholesomeness. Of course, one of the major point is whenever we have back and forth navigation, we'll try to go for screen flows. That is the only point you missed.
Yes,
Other
yes,
than
yes.
that, everything
Forward and
you were
backward
to
navigation.
the point. That is good. So this gives me understanding that okay, he might not be good in these answer, but this answer is really good. Like you could cover so many aspects with respect to this answer. So any interviewer is not expecting you to answer all the 15 questions he's going to ask, but he's always going to look at those 3 to 4 questions where you go in detail and you demonstrate your dominance or expertise with respect to the product. So this answer is something which falls in that category. So always focus on that. Whenever you know a topic really well, and if the interviewer is asking you that question, always try to go in detail and explain him what all you have done. I mean, you're not losing anything here. All that you are doing is you're expressing that you know these aspects with respect to that product, or that rule in the in this scenario. Does it make sense?
Yes, yes.
Very good. Okay, so going further, So let us say I'm trying to integrate with this REST connector and it is throwing me SSL handshake exception. How will you debug this scenario? Or how will you troubleshoot this scenario?
No idea.
Perfect. So that is, it's a really good thing. Not everything you will be knowing. Sometimes candidates, they try to answer something just for the sake of answering. It is very bad. It is always good to say no, I don't know. It is very much possible that there are things which not everyone would have worked on. There are aspects where you would have worked on and the interviewer might have not worked on such rules. This is a very good answer which you gave. You told, okay, I don't know this, which is good. You're being frank about it. But of course, this is not a really challenging question. It is always good to know that. So in such cases, like we have already discussed, the first thing you will be doing is, try to replicate that in your development environment. Try to redo it, try to connect and see, and trace it. Haven't we seen using tracer what exactly is going wrong with the connect with your rules, right? Tracer is something which you knew. So if you try to think what he is asking your ability to how you will be troubleshooting or debugging a given situation. Of course, there are tools. I'll be using tracer to trace and see what is happening when this particular connect rest is running. I will see what is the reason for failure. I will use clipboard page to verify if the data is properly being passed to this connect rest and it is be able to hit the URL. I'll also see what is coming back as a response. Is it HTTP 500, which means their server is down, right? These are the steps. Also, very importantly, I will go back to the logs and see what is coming in logs. If this is SSL handshake exception, I will see what is going wrong. Maybe the API key is incorrect, because of which SSL handshake is failing. Does it make sense, guys?
Yes, yes.
Very important. So these are the ways in which you should be answering and understanding what is the question all about. You might find it little, see, right now you are not even facing the person, like, you are on a audio mode. Even in audio mode, you are having these many, challenges in just, expressing what you have already learned. Haven't you? Don't you know that there are logs available in the application? You know that,
Yes,
right? Don't you know that tracer is available in that application?
yes,
Don't you know that clipboard is available in the application?
yes,
So this question, you literally know the answer. Just because you didn't give enough thought for what is being asked, you lost the opportunity and you gave an impression that, okay, I don't understand this question. Does it make sense?
yes,
Whenever they ask you troubleshooting or debugging, you should jump and tell them, yes, there are so many tools Pega provides. Pega gives us a rich set of tools to debug and understand how exactly we can, troubleshoot any issue within Pega. Of course, in logging, we can go and enable modes. I can enable the debug mode and I can get fine grained logging and understand what is happening in each and every step when a connect rest is being performed. Does it make sense?
yes,
Very good. So this was a brief, touch point in with respect to understanding where exactly you guys stand in answering an interview or going through an interview process. So all you have to do is I'm trying to build a consolidated list of questions and I'll be putting that across in one of the drives and I'll be sharing that with you so you guys can go over these questions. I mean, I have answered it to best of my capabilities and you can also explore more and understand them. I'm working on that. I want to build like at least 100 questions so that you guys have a consolidated list which you'll be going over and understanding. So did this help, guys? Were you guys able to like get a feel of what exactly an interview would feel like?
yes, yes.
Perfect. So thank you. This was one session where we'll be going over what exactly a mock interview would feel like, and like this way you will have to build on top of this. This is just a yardstick where I'll be guiding you and telling you, hey, this is where you stand and this is where you have to get. Right now, you know where you are. So now you have to work on whichever areas you feel like are not where you are not strong enough and you had trouble in answering those questions, you have to work on them. And then of course the entire product itself is new to you guys, so you'll have to redo. Practice is something which is going to make you perfect, and to answer that you should be able to express what exactly you are doing. And of course start by knowing yourself first and build that script and practice it again and again. What are you, tell me about yourself should be your 1 minute pitch, which is going to be your access or success card for you to go through into that interview. Hope this helps. Let's catch on in the next lecture where we'll be going over the resume preparation.